Good evening everyone, welcome to my Genshin Impact iframing guide. Essentially, iframing is the ability for you to avoid damage by doing certain actions such as dashing or casting your elemental burst. In this video, we're only going to discuss the dash mechanic and how you can do it. Essentially, if you press the mouse 2 or the dash button at the correct moment, you can avoid enemy damage. Once that damage hits, all the characters in the game can do this. The only cost is a bit of stamina. For a lot of the characters, you are limited to 2 dashes before an internal cooldown comes on, and then once that internal cooldown is lifted, you will then be able to dash again. The only 2 exceptions are Mona and Ayaka, which have essentially an infinite amount of iframing. They can dash as long as they've got stamina, and this is actually what makes Ayaka such a great technical character, because if she hits an enemy while coming out of her dash, she refunds stamina, which means you can actually avoid and position yourself quite a lot with Ayaka. That said, let's get into some practical examples here. What I'll show you now is a very sort of scripted fight with Masanori. First, we will do 2 single dashes. You'll see 1 and 2. There we go. Pretty easy. If you didn't catch that, you can just sort of rewind the video. But the basic technique is you just want to sort of dash at the moment that the attack connects, so you have to learn the enemy's attacking pattern. I did speak about the double dash earlier, and you'll see an example here of double dashing 1 twice. There we go. Pretty easy to do so, and yeah, we can also now then do the same with Ayaka. Once this clip ends, I'll go to one of me doing this in the Spiral Abyss. And then you'll also see how you can do this in a bit more of a practical example. So here you can see the big guy at the back. He's going to jump us, and because we dashed at the right moment, we took no damage, which is really quite awesome. The next clip I want to show you is a slow-mo one, and there we go. At the moment the damage connects, we get into our dash with Ayaka, and we take no damage again, which is really nice. What I've got now in the background is just me playing a bit against Masanori. A couple of very simple dashes to get out. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I've also got one where we avoid his, I don't know what you call it, but again, that area of effect attack, so it'll come up in a short while, but that one is without the slow-mo. And then hopefully you'll be able to see the dash cancelling again. So we'll just give it a bit. Here it comes, and without the slow-mo, there we go. This next clip that I want to show you guys is for Ayaka mains only. See in this fight, if you can count the number of times I actually correctly iframe this guy and avoid his attacks, but there's a bit of secret Ayaka tech here. Well, not really secret, but it allows you to, once your enemy dashes past you, you can actually connect your charge attacks even if the enemy is standing 180 behind you. So that's a little bit of nice Ayaka tech I just want to sort of throw in there. In the beginning I did say that you can do iframing, but there are certain things that you cannot. So in the background here I'll show you against our favorite punching bag Primo that a lot of his attacks can be iframed, but in particular his primordial shower cannot. So no matter how you dash, you cannot avoid it. You can only avoid the damage by having a shield or using your elemental burst to get that invulnerability framing. As you can see, we avoided all these attacks pretty easy, pretty standard. You just need to learn the pattern and the timing. And I think right now we will get the invulnerability frame, the primordial shower, and you'll see we will fail. There we go. We just completely failed. No matter how much you try it, no matter how much you practice, there are just certain attacks that cannot be iframed. So I've got this little final example in the background. It's just going to run while I talk. The big thing for me about invulnerability framing is it's such a nice and advanced technique, but you've got to be very careful with it. A lot of characters, particularly everyone that's not Ayaka, you do use stamina, and stamina is very important from a strategic perspective, because it actually comes back into your charge attacks. So if you try and dash too much, you can either catch yourself out of position or out of stamina, and then you can't really hit your charge attacks. Ayaka is sort of a bit of like the exception, because what's really cool about her is she refunds some stamina, and in my view that makes Ayaka such a fun character to actually go in and play. I've done a solo run in the Spiral Abyss a couple of times with Ayaka, and I've even done a no damage run on the first halves. I'll link that at the top, so please have a check and look at that. See if you can spot all the times I do invulnerability framing, and hopefully that'll also give you some ideas how you can work and play Ayaka as a fellow Ayaka mains. So yeah, hopefully I've sold you on the idea of invulnerability framing. It's actually not difficult. It is just a bunch of practice that you need to do, but hopefully you get the concept with all the examples. Yeah, and that's it guys. Cheers.